The greatness of a community or a city is based on how it treats its poor.
We believe that no one should be homeless. There is no reason to have peopleless homes and homeless people. We believe that all people, all living people should be able to have a house.
And I hope to God none of y'all be homeless in y'all life like I have been. Been foreclosed on a house on 2832 Turbot Road, which was foreclosed, which forced me to move. I'm not getting any younger. I've rented this here property for 2 years now. Now this house is under foreclosure. I mean, the people are fighting hard to pay their bills and stuff. They're getting bad bank loans, and now we're thrown out on the streets again. How can you guys be homeless? How can my children and my grandchildren be homeless? Because the banksters, they are nothing but gangsters to me. That's all. This house is being foreclosed on by M&I. They got $1.7 billion bailout money. They kept the money and kept the houses. For the past 2 years, this house has been ran by Operation Welcome Home. I am a graduate of this house. It's given me a chance to come from homelessness. Had a place where I could sit my feet, gather my thoughts. It's difficult to pull yourself up when you're homeless, when your day-to-day existence is based on trying to survive on a daily basis.
What is Scott Walker saying to our children right now? This is not our future for our children to be homeless, crying on the streets because they are hungry, because mom doesn't have a roof over their head or anything to feed them. Because right now, we don't even know if we're going to have food stamps to feed our children. Yes. We don't even know if we're going to have a paycheck next month to feed our children. Yes. For disabled people, not only mothers and children, but disability. Come on, what's going on, Scott Walker? Yes. This is not about you. This is not about your executives. Yes. This is about women, children, and this land was made for me and you. Yes. And our children. Housing is our right, and we are taking it back, Scott Walker.
Yes. I was really hoping someone from M&I Bank would be here today, because I have a gift basket for them. It's an Easter basket, little piggy bank, because I know they're really struggling for lack of money right now. Not. I mean, the farmers I've talked to, over half of people who farm don't own the land they farm. People know that? And this is part of the land grab going on. This house is being grabbed, farmers are losing their land, and they're snagging property all over the place. M&I Bank is not paying their fair share of taxes, that they're stealing this home out from under people who need it. And we need to call them to account. Housing is a human right. Yes, having access to land is a human right. People should be able to live in a home and not be worried about being thrown on the street because some bankster needs to get a bigger compensation package.
So people say, well, we support people not being homeless. People say we support people having a house. Well, they often then say, well, we don't agree with the tactics. We don't agree with the measures that you are taking. Why can't you work within the system? And to that I say, well, imagine this. Imagine if you were to go to the store and buy a soda, and you were to hand the cashier $1. You would be expecting to get your soda back. Now imagine if the cashier kept the soda and the $1. Yes. That's exactly what has happened here. And what do we say to the cashier? Give me my soda.
What's happening in Wisconsin today is that the governor's proposed a budget that would push 1 million people in Wisconsin over the edge. Folks who have been struggling to get above the surface, it's pushing them down. And it's doing it for no reason other than greed. As you've heard, M&I took in, what was it, $60 million in bonuses?
Almost $70 million in bonuses.
Almost $70 million in bonuses for M&I Bank. So right now, people here in Madison are hurting. And if you're a Madisonian, if you're somebody who's from Dane County, you should come out and support the families who are here, support the children who are here. They have a right to housing just like you do.
We're also building off of a strong legacy of organizing, specifically the civil rights movement. Yes. Just like 50 years ago, they had the sit-ins, which many people say don't do it because it's illegal. But they took the higher road and they said, we will do what is moral, right? And that is what we're doing here. We're modeling morality. So not only are we drawing attention to laws that are immoral, but we're also modeling what the law should be, and that is to pair peopleless homes with homeless people.
And I stand in the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., whose 43rd anniversary of being assassinated we celebrated this past week. We honored and mourned with Jesse Jackson this week, asking the question that I think our new mayor was asking. Paul Soglin was voted in because he talked about poverty. We're asking folks around the city firefighters, police officers, those who have also stood at the Capitol for this repair bill that's only going to worsen for those at the bottom of our society who are looking for ways to 1 million people, we heard, 1 million people will be impacted negatively by this new repair bill that's connected directly to the housing situation we face here on Hammersley. We ask you as people of moral consciousness to come and stand with us in fighting for housing as a human right. Housing is a human right.
LGBT youth of color support this movement and take back the land because a disproportionate amount of LGBT youth of color are homeless. LGBT youth of color are only 5% of the general population, but 42% of homeless people are LGBT youth, and 65% of that percentage is LGBT youth of color. Yes. So this means a lot to me. Yes. And I'm one of those homeless youth of color, unfortunately. Scott Walker, with his budget repair bill, is trying to cut Badger Care and Food Share. And by M&I Bank giving money to Scott Walker, he's saying that M&I Bank is saying that they support that. So that means that not only is M&I Bank not care about the poor, but they don't care about people of color.
Because we have to find new ways to address these problems. Yes. These laws and that stimulus money didn't fix the problem, and we need to look at new approaches. We could start taxing LLCs more appropriately, making sure that when they purchase properties, they're being fully taxed at the purchase price that they purchase those properties at. We did just elect a mayor who said he was really going to address poverty issues. And I think what we need to do is we need to make sure that he forms a task force on poverty, that we are asked to sit at the table and to come up with the solutions, and that we have to say the city of Madison has to get out here and aggressively start purchasing some of these homes, making sure that they fall into the hands of the nonprofits so that they can keep them affordable on a long-term basis.
And we know that the fight has just begun. On the 26th, April 26th at 8 a.m. at the Dane County Courthouse, there's a sheriff auction or a sheriff sale. We are asking the community to come out and to support. Once again, we're going to have a rally there and demand that the house not go for sale, but that it be turned over to the people. Woo! Banks are not people, and they do not need homes. All right. Homes are for people to live and should not be profit centers for corporations. Housing is a human right.